Welcome aboard. It's Captain G with an update on our Barbarossa game between Flack 88 and myself. This is the turn 6 recap. If you're just following the summary, it's going to give you a high-level overview of what happened during turn 6. So we'll start here in the north, where the Soviets responding to the German pullback and all of the action south of Moscow continued to pull forces and resources down, including all of their artillery. They did an attack into southern Smolensk, and it got down to, I think, 29 infantry rolling to hit 3 defending German infantry, and they got 2 of them. There was one guy left. And so the Germans held, because you can only do 1 round of combat in a city, and the Soviets were stymied. And then on the German turn, the survivor was flown to Berlin for a medal award, and we just moved the infantry back. Here in the breakout, with the Soviets gaining the initiative and getting back-to-back turns, Flak 88 took advantage of it. So the mobile force that was near northern Smolensk came down to Libny with supporting infantry and hit hard the remnants of Manstein's mobile armor force. The survivors retreated to Kursk and then counterattacked up, because in addition to this attack, the forces here in Donetsk, or actually this is East Kharkov, the forces here in East Kharkov struck out and took this lightly defended zone. They also attacked into Tizim, and in both of these oblasts, Germany had 1 fighter stuck in the mud and only 1 ground unit. It was part of their ill-fated effort to encircle and destroy Kharkiv, and it didn't work. So the fighters were not able to defend. They were both killed when the ground units lost, and the Soviets took the spots. And then they surrounded this German force up here that was on the wrong side of the river, encircled without supplies. So on the German turn, the survivors from Libny that had retreated here attacked up, as well as German infantry that came in. These Italians had to move in non-combat because the Axis, when they do not have initiative, the Axis minor countries cannot attack at the same time as the Germans. They have to do separate attacks. So Italian artillery fired as 1 attack. The German force attacked, and then these guys moved in non-combat to reinforce. But it was successful. These guys were able to join in across the battle. I think there was 1 supply here, which allowed them to participate in combat. So they attacked with a big penalty, -2 on the river, or -2 for being surrounded, encircled, and -1 for the river on the first turn. So they were -3 that first round, not really doing a lot, but they did help. Wiped out this force. So now you have this Soviet force and some supporting infantry on the other side of this river, and some supporting infantry here that could hit this German force here. We'll see what he does with it. Additionally, Rundstedt now is moved out of Kiev, but because of the mud, he could only move 1 zone, so he wasn't able to move quickly. But he'll be moving up to try to reinforce and become now the last major German army group. There's still Bush in the north, but we've pulled a lot of offensive firepower out of Bush. So Rundstedt has the bulk of the remaining German armor here. 2 medium, 8 light, 6 mechs, a couple tank destroyers, whereas Bush has mainly infantry, an SS Panzer, and a couple light armor and a bunch of artillery because he's slow moving. And then to try to maintain pressure on Stalingrad, the airborne that had dropped moved up to join the mech. The Italian moved across because, again, it was muddy. You could only move one zone per time. So we tried to reinforce as best we could this side of the river. We have the Italians here and the Romanians here ready to move in towards Stalingrad, hopefully knock out that factory. It was damaged in a strategic bombing. Max damage, 10 damage, but it cost the AA, took one medium bomber away from the German Luftwaffe. So on turn 6, which is next, there are 2 German fighters here. It is not mud weather. So if Germany had moved first and then regained the initiative, they could have flown away, but Germany did not. We rolled a 9 and the Soviets rolled a 12. So the Soviets retained the initiative. So they can attack, but unlike in turn 6, where the fighters were stuck in the mud, on turn 7, if they just send 1 infantry in, these guys, well, they'll be able to retreat because they're not stuck in the mud, okay? They'll be able to retreat and or defend depending on what attacks them. So that's where we are. Germans moving up some logistics trains and trucks with supplies very slowly. We did take Crimea down here in the south to try to catch Sevastopol for one more victory point. Not that it matters much. Still want to take this factory out here, but he's got it well defended. So we'll see. It's like I said, turn 7 next. The first victory condition group for the Axis are by the end of turn 8. They must meet these victory conditions. If not, then they have to have so many points by the end of turn 18. So Germany still has a chance, perhaps, to reach those victory conditions, take Moscow or take Baku. Doesn't seem likely. Otherwise, the tide's starting to turn. But it's not over yet. So for Flak 88, this is Captain G. That's pretty much everything that happened in turn 6. Next up, turn 7 is sunny weather. Good weather in May, June of 1942. Soviets have the initiative. So Flak 88, this is Captain G, over and out.